Hi, I'm Cheung, and today I will be stating Lev's case as his lawyer. First and foremost, we thank the chief surgeon of the Happy Jack Harvest Camp for this opportunity. So, our innovative society is one that uses a person's value to determine their overall status. In the debate deciding which of these unwinds should be released back to that very society, shouldn't it be similarly determined through each one's value? Let me give you descriptions of three different people. You have a short-fused, reckless, and impulsive leader, a dedicated yet consistently mediocre girl who's reached limits, or you have an exemplary, morally driven student who, though easily manipulated, always strives to right his wrongs and bring good to those around him. I'm talking about Lev Calder, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves to live. Let me make this clear. We are talking about giving one of these unwinds a chance to continue their life and prove their ability to do good and serve society. I find that Lev has many traits that fit this role better than his opponents. First of all, Lev is an exemplary student with incredible athletic capabilities at his school, as seen by he is his family's pride and joy, straight A's in school, MVP in Little League at page 31. If Lev were to continue his life with the proper guidance and mentorship without being limited by father time, nor the idea that he would be unwooed, surely his natural talent and dedication to his work could bring a lot for society to desire. This is something we can't say applies for the other two unwinds. Lev has also shown time and time again to have a strong moral compass when making decisive decisions. For example, when, unfortunately, stealing from a pawnbroker, Lev still leaves his valuables in return for a small portion of the money, when he could have potentially taken all the cash and the valuables from the helpless pawnbroker who is knocked unconscious. Again, he apologizes for that. Another example of this strong moral compass can be seen when Lev is in a position to clap and blow up the Happy Jack Harvest Camp. Though all clappers usually slam their hands together and get the explosion over with, at page 310, Lev struggles to get himself to clap because a stronger part of him refuses to let him clap his hands together. While it can be said that Lev's mistakes and easy manipulability puts himself in these situations, it can also be seen that in the end, he tries his best to correct them. On to the other unwind. While the argument can be made that Connor Lassitier is a natural-born leader, he's also impulsive, short-fused, and arrogant. This impacts his judgment and ability to make the right decisions. Connor Lassitier and Risa Ward depend on each other to survive. This is seen clearly throughout the novel, with the first instance of this being in the complete beginning of the book. Connor without Risa is just a boy who's been sentenced to be unwound due to his aggressive and impulsive tendencies to get into fights. Eventually, Connor and Risa's paths cross due to sheer dumb luck. From that point on, Connor takes influence from Risa and begins to turn more like her, more calm, more calculated, and most importantly, thinking before he actually acts. This is held all in the wild, together as well as till the graveyard, until they eventually arrive at the Happy Jack Harvest Camp. On page 267, they are divided, as is said from the quotation, "Divide and conquer, that's the term, isn't it?" Only a few days after the separation from each other, Connor and Roland get into a fight that Connor instigates out of pure annoyance, in which he nearly dies. My opposition would like you to believe that Connor did not instigate this fight, since Roland blocked his path, and that Connor was simply defending himself. However, even Connor realizes again that he's gone too far when he states that Roland would have killed the Goldens if they weren't dead before he had the chance to. On the other hand, back before the runaway unwinds were about to go on the plane, Connor smartly avoids a fight against Roland with Risa's help to calm him down. This shows how Connor is dependent on Risa for her help to lead his logical thinking, and without her, he would revert to his old ways. And of course, that sort of temperament is not something that makes him deserving to remain whole. On the other hand, you have Risa Ward, someone who simply lives a life of mediocrity. In a society where your future is based on your value and ability to contribute back to it, Risa is simply not good enough in comparison to the other candidates. The whole reason she has been sent to be unwounded is because of her mediocrity and how others feel she's reached her potential. This judgment of Risa can be seen as reliable information as it was made by the headmaster of her state home, who had looked over her and the other children for over a decade, having an extremely knowledgeable idea of Risa and her particular skill set. If he believes that her potential is coming to an end, there's no reason to doubt that he's a reliable source of information regarding this topic. Risa also has limited medical knowledge and skill, only managing to get this far through luck. Mediocrity is not something that our society needs, and is, as appalling as it may sound, is what puts her life below Lev Calder's. When we consider Lev's character throughout his journey as a runaway Unwind, I have to admit, Lev has made some poor decisions. However, I believe that this is not all his fault, but instead stems from his upbringing. On page 31, it is stated that all his life he has had to deal with kids who resented him because grown-ups treated him as if he was special. The fact of Lev being a type and coming from a rich background has led to him being treated far differently than other kids his whole life. I think that this slowly developed towards his inability to socially interact and think clearly when part of the normal society and away from the world he knows to be. One of Lev's biggest weaknesses is that he's also easily manipulated. From the beginning, the decision for Lev to be unwound was made before he was born, which meant that he grew up believing being unwound was the way his life was supposed to go. Pastor Dan is shown to be one of the key figures helping Lev with this process in the beginning of the novel. However, once Lev figures out that Pastor Dan doesn't truly believe in the unwinding process, he immediately severs ties with both the pastor and his parents, reflecting his disbelief in how his whole life has been a lie. And while all this manipulation has gotten him into the many dire situations he's had to dig himself out of, I believe that with enough time in rehabilitation and experiencing society with proper guidance and mentorship, he will undoubtedly be a great inspiration and servant to our community. Overall, honestly speaking, if we were given the choice, I believe that we should give all three a chance to prove themselves to society with what they've been through. However, as this is not the case, Lev is the Unwind with the most potential and morality within the three. Though as said earlier, he is easily manipulated and occasionally inept at working as part of a community, this has to have come from his poor upbringing and life away from the general society. Now he is no longer bound within the restrictions of his family. I believe that he can once again be a great inspiration and servant to the society. Again, I'm Cheung, and thank you very much for your time.